Yeah, we ready, we lit. One time for my niggas, two times for my nagas. It's your main man, Daddy Shiva. Back in this bitch again. Go ahead and tweet that out. I kind of said I was already on. But, I give y'all some time to kind of file in, or I could just start. Y'all niggas. I'm, I'm going on right now. So, what I wanted to talk about tonight is, of course, the very title of this video. Happy Tzolk'in New Year. You see what I'm saying? We are, of course, talking about the Tzolk'in calendar, the long count calendar of the Olmec Mayan civilization, within their particular conceptualization of what time is and how they dealt with measuring time and keeping track of time. They created, a various number of different cycles. And one of those cycles is the Tun cycle, which can be more commonly understood as the harmonic year. All right. So a harmonic year, a Tun cycle, is actually 360 days within, what I'm saying, the grander cycles of, the long count calendar. And today, November 20th, just so happens to be the end of the 6 ton that we've transitioned through since 2012. You see what I'm saying? The reason why I wanted to kind of hop on live and even talk about this shit right now is because of the fact that this particular restarting of the ton cycle that we're currently dealing with right now happens to fall in line with the transition between Scorpio season and Sagittarius season. So I really kind of wanted to utilize this particular space and time to kind of talk to you guys, kind of drop a little bit more information on the Tzolk'in shit, but mainly just to see where everybody's head is at, mainly just to see what kind of intentions, what kind of goals, what kind of I guess dreams are you guys coming up with during this particular time, because of the fact that this is the start of a new cycle. So it is going to be whatever it is you're dreaming about, whatever it is you're thinking about, whatever goals you set, this is going to be the time period where those particular things are seeded. You see what I'm saying? And they're going to grow and gestate through the rest of this cycle. You see what I'm saying? So once again, the Tun cycle, the harmonic year of the Tzolk'in long count calendar, is 360 days long. It's a full circle. It's a full revolution. You see what I'm saying? It's a full evolution, so to speak, because you get all 360 degrees with inside of that harmonic year. So I really wanted to just, give you guys a bit of I guess focus, a bit of information, a bit of knowledge as to, a couple of different things, and, really give, I guess, a little bit of a clear explanation of what the Tzolk'in really is and how it functions and all that shit. And then utilizing that information to really talk about why this particular space in time and time in space is so important for setting and seeding these new dreams, these new goals, these new intentions. All right. So, the first thing I want to really touch on is the fact that, once again, this particular Tun cycle that we're now entering into, right, is aligning itself very much so with the transition between Scorpio season, which in 12 sign astrology represents the death archetype, right? The death and the resurrection archetype. Whereas not Scorpio, Sagittarius represents this energy of rebirth. You see what I'm saying? The fire of purification, so to speak. So we're really dealing with not only a transition from an old cycle into a new cycle, but also a transition from the underworld back into the heavenly realms. You see what I'm saying? A transition from death into a rebirth and the starting of a new life, the starting of a new cycle. I also want to bring into account the fact that the most, I shouldn't say the most basic, but the most fundamental aspect of the Tzolk'in calendar as a whole, which would be the 260-day cycle based on the 13 harmonic tones and the 20 day signs that actually comprise the calendar itself. You see what I'm saying? That is also restarting in December. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to be restarting that particular cycle. We're going to be restarting, or not restarting, I guess I should say entering into a new, you see what I'm saying, cycle as of today. You see what I'm saying? This is a very important transition period. You see what I'm saying? The 260-day cycle based on the 13 harmonic tones and the 20 day signs is actually analogous to the period of time between a woman's conception and the birth of a child. You see what I'm saying? So really keep this in mind, that not only are we restarting a cycle of 360 days, which is the full evolution, the full revolution, right? We're also about to restart in December a cycle that is analogous to the conception, gestation, and birth of a new entity, right? Of a new being. As we are currently transitioning between Scorpio, the archetype of death, and Sagittarius, the archetype of rising from the fire, almost that phoenix energy, which is also associated with Scorpio as well. So we're dealing with death, rebirth, old cycles moving into new cycles, and the seeding, gestation, and birthing of a new entity. So all of this particular time period from now all the way until December. Can you look up on the Tzolk'in app what day the next Emish one is? Because I know it's in December somewhere, but I want to give them exact days. I want to give them exact days for that. You can turn your phone sideways and it'll do it. Is that it right there? This one? Emish one. Oh, that's the 11th of December? 11th. All right, boom. So there we go. Sorry, just had to get that right. So December 11th, the time period between now and December 11th is going to be very important in terms of it being a transitionary period between this restarting of a full cycle of evolution, a full cipher of knowledge, 360 degrees, 360 days, and then also the conception, gestation, and revelation of a new entity. All right. So, I want to kind of bring out a little bit more information about the Tzolk'in because I've been utilizing it. I've been talking about it. I've been working with it, and I've stumbled across a lot of new information in regards to it. Not new information, but new to me. You see what I'm saying? I'm going through this journey too. I'm fucking learning too. So, what I've realized and what I've come to realize and what has been revealed to me and what I've learned is that the Tzolk'in calendar, the long count calendar of the Olmec Mayan civilization, is very much in alignment with what we would call tropical astrology, right? Very much in alignment with tropical astrology, but not in the way that you would think, all right? It is very much a geocentric understanding of time. You see what I'm saying? It's based on how we view cycles in the astral realms. Astral meaning stars, asters, stars, right? It is very much based on how we view cycles happening on Earth of the astral realm, right? But the way that it differs from how we currently utilize 12 sign tropical astrology is the fact that Tzolk'in astrology synchronizes all of these different cycles into one coherent clock. That's really the only big difference. So when we're dealing with understanding the Tzolk'in on a deeper level, we're dealing with synodic cycles. You see what I'm saying? Synodic. Synodic cycles. All right. Research that. Look into those cycles. Look into how long the synodic cycles of the sun, the synodic cycles of the moon, the synodic cycles of Venus, Mercury, Mars. Look into how long those synodic cycles are, right? If you're good at math, you'll realize that all of those synodic cycles are connected by the number 13, right? 13 being a very prominent prime number within mathematics as it already stands. You see what I'm saying? So this is where the 13 harmonic tones come from, because 13 seems to be the number that harmonizes, harmonize. It harmonizes all of these different synodic cycles, right? And then, you know, the 20-day signs are pretty much 20 different archetypes that are connected with not only the subconscious mind of humanity, but also with different star signs or constellations or asterisms in the sky as well. So this is where a lot of the potency of the Tzolk'in comes from, is the fact that it's so mathematically in tune with all of these different cycles. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, as we go through, you know, this next 360-day cycle, one of my main intentions is to really bring you guys a deeper understanding of what the Tzolk'in's all about, really making it practical so that way you guys can understand it, and you know, really showing you a little bit more of the science behind it, so that way you guys can begin to utilize it more. Because the Tzolk'in cycle as we see it now, and the Tzolk'in calendar, the long count calendar as a whole, was not a calendar for regular, everyday, mundane life. This was the calendar of the priests. This was how they determined when they would do rituals, what the rituals would be for, how to do them, what ways that was the calendar that they used to really denote their holy days, their holidays, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that it is ever shifting, it is ever moving, it's not linear, it's cyclic. You see what I'm saying? Really gives you a strong 360-degree view of the entire universe. And that's why I started working with it. I didn't know these things when I started working with it. Like I said, this was a discovery process for me as well. As I worked with it more, it revealed more secrets to me. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of wanted to just give a brief little something to kind of explain a little bit of what I've been working on while I've been gone. But that's what the Tzolk'in's all about. That's what, you know, that shit deals with. That's a little bit of it. You see what I'm saying? But back to the main point at hand. What are you niggas' goals? Like, what are your intentions? What are you thinking about right now? What have you been thinking about for the past week? You see what I'm saying? Because all of those thoughts that have been happening within the past 7 days are now going to play themselves into being the foundation for this 7th ton cycle that we're entering into as of today. You see what I'm saying? And when we deal with the number 7 in I guess what you could call Olmec Mayan numerology, you see what I'm saying? We're dealing with the concepts of mystical power. We're dealing with the technician of the sacred, the true alchemist. You see what I'm saying? Lucky number 7. You see what I'm saying? The bridge between worlds. You see what I'm saying? This is what we're dealing with here, right? You have 7 visible planets in the sky. You got 7 colors, 7 musical notes, 7 chakras, 7 days of the week, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 fucking everywhere. 7 has to be some type of a lucky number. So I really wanted to kind of question you guys on, well, not question you, that kind of seems judgmental. I kind of wanted to ask you guys, so to speak, what are you really thinking about? What are your thoughts aligned with at this moment? Because that's gonna be what you revolve around for the next 360 days. You see what I'm saying? And especially within this particular 7th cycle, you're going to bring out all of the mystical power within whatever it is that you're thinking about. So let me quickly, you know what I'm saying? I like reading books. I don't just ever like coming on here and channeling shit and not giving y'all some type of reference for the information I be getting my shit from. You see what I'm saying? And here's the book. You can go get the deck yourself. You can begin to work with the shit yourself, understand it yourself. Let's jump right to the book. Let's see what they got to say about the number 7, the harmonic tone 7, right? Because that's really going to be the energy that's sitting over this 7th tone cycle. So let's jump to that. Let me find it real quick. All right, boom. So 7 is mystical power. The qualities of the 7th harmonic tone deal with mystical alignment. So whatever it is that your mind is aligned with right now, you're going to find yourself mystically manifesting that shit. So I really want you niggas to be very careful of what you're thinking about, not even to invoke fear or nothing like that, but in the sense that you can manifest a lot of power in this particular time period. You can do a whole lot within this particular time period because this particular cycle deals with, I like that. I like that. Yeah, that's an intention. That should be what you revolve around. 360 degrees of abundance. Everywhere you turn is abundance. I like that. So understand that whatever you set your intention to, you know what I'm saying, within this transition period between today and December 11th, that's what you're going to be mystically aligned with for the next 360 days, starting today. You see what I'm saying? This transition period that we're in right now is very important for setting the groundation and the conception of that intention, right? So mystical alignment is one quality. Self-acceptance. Self-acceptance. Do you truly accept all of the aspects of who you are? Because you as a being are a polarity. You are an enigma. You're not just good. You're not just bad. You're not just light. You're not just dark. You have to learn to accept all of that in order to be able to work with all of it and transmute all of it, right? Because from darkness comes light, but the light illuminates the darkness. So you can't just work on one end or the other. You have to be willing to accept all the aspects of you in order to create a real revolution, a real change in your cipher. In order to give birth to a new being, you have to accept what you are as you are right now. So I really want to bring that to the forefront as we deal with the 7th harmonic tone that is going to be in play during this 7th tone cycle that we're entering into. All right. Like I said earlier, another one of the qualities dealing with the 7th harmonic tone is technician of the sacred. How technically sound are you at your magic? What techniques are you using? How good are you at those techniques? Because it's all about the fundamentals. That's how you fund your mental. That's how you really get the mind to produce wealth, is by being good at the fundament, being good at the ground level, having a solid foundation to stand upon. That's how you fund your mental. Ain't it interesting that the root chakra is also known as the Mula Dahara chakra? Mula, as in the money, the abundance, the physical manifestation of energy. Technician of the sacred. Do you know how to bend and work with the energies to make your vehicle move? Do you know how to make shit pop? Do you know how to work with these sacred energies? One thing I have to bring up when I'm dealing with the word sacred is the fact that etymologically it is connected to the word sacrifice. When we talk about sacrifice, we also have to talk about the word victim, because victim is etymologically connected to the concept of the sacrificial animal that is given up during rituals in order to call down the gods. So what are you sacrificing? Are you sacrificing yourself, the small self, to gain a bigger self, a grander role? Are you sacrificing the small self to gain a mystical power? These are important things to talk about. Moulin Rouge, you see what I'm saying? What was Moulin Rouge all about? That was that sexual energy, the Kundalini energy. It's good to see you too. I'm very happy to be back. Trust me, I'm very happy to be back. So this is what we're dealing with here. The technician of the sacred. You got to know how to mechanic your shit. You got to know how to fix your vessel, your vehicle, in order to make this shit move the way you want. We trying to make bloody moves. That red, we trying to make all of this sacred shit manifest physically. All right. Another quality of the seventh harmonic tone is direct connection with the source. 7 universal laws, 7 colors, 7 chakras, 7 days of the week, 7, 7, 7, 7. Everything's fucking 7. It all goes back to the law of 7. So clearly this is a number that brings us back to source. All right. Getting back to the origin point that creates the 7 archangels, 7 planets that are visible in the sky. And you see what I'm saying? We have to get back to the source. What is it that seems to keep repeating this code to us in the 7? Because once we get back to that source, we get back to our true abundance. We get back to our luck. We hit the jackpot. So this is what I kind of want to focus on as we move into, you know, the 7th ton cycle, right? As we're moving into this new stage of conception, gestation, and revelation. This is what I want to focus on. All right. The significance of 7, just told you the significance of 7. 7 universal laws, 7 colors, 7 notes. You see what I'm saying? 7 seems to be a very prominent number in terms of the mathematical coding of the universe. That's why the 7th harmonic tone is the technician of the sacred. So if you want to know the significance of the life path 7, which I'm a life path 7 too, shout out to the squad. You're a technician of the sacred. You are what is known as a true alchemist, so to speak. Not that other life path numbers don't have that same alchemical power, but you would be the most direct manifestation of that alchemical power. Shit, there's even 7 primary stages of alchemy. So you are a living embodiment of those 7 stages. You see what I'm saying? Shit, you a Shiva. That's what Shiva mean. 7. The auspicious one. The 7 colors are really just a diffraction of light through a prism into its constituent components. Those 7 lights that we see come from one source. That white light gets broken into its 7 parts. So God created 7 archangels. It took God 7 days to create the universe, quote unquote, according to the book of Genesis. On the 7th day, he rested, but that would mean that all of creation rested on the 7th day, which means the 7 is the foundation. God rested on the 7th day, so the creation rested on the 7th day. The Shiva, the Samadhi, right? Baron Samadhi from out of the voodoo, if you fuck with that type of knowledge. Samadhi means Saturday. Oh shit, all of this rests on Saturn. But wouldn't you know, Saturn is lead, the root chakra. But Saturn is also the pineal gland. Very interesting connections that we can start to tap into once we understand the power of the 7. Lucky number 7. 7 is harmonically linked to the number 13, believe it or not. We'll get there. Like I said, I got another 360 days to explain all the shit that the Tzolk'in really is. All right? So this is what we're dealing with. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to read a little bit more out of the book. And I'm going to kind of break this shit down, and we going to unpack it, unfold it, pack it, fucking origami this shit. We going to do everything to it, and we going to make a real clear understanding of what the intention is for the next Tun cycle. All right? So let's begin. 7 is the ray of mystical power. The foundation of the individual self, the 5, right? You got 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses, 5 appendages, arm, leg, arm, head, Allah. You got 5. 5 is the foundation that the spirit rests upon. It's the human body. It's the temple. All right? The 5-point star of man. All right? The foundation of the individual self freed within the 2 points of polarity. So let me show you. Mayan numbering system is a little different as well. So I got to kind of show you what I'm talking about. All right. So you have 5, which is the line, the bar, right? And then you have the 2 points of polarity, which is why I said self-acceptance is going to be very important, because you're going to have to accept that you're not all light. You're not all dark. You're not a light worker. You're not a shadow worker. You're both. You're not all good. You're not all bad. You're both. You're just as evil as you are good. And the sooner you accept all of who you are, the sooner you learn to love everything that's in the mirror, the better you are. You become freed between the 2 points of polarity. But since we talk about the 7 universal laws, let's talk about the law of polarity. Like and unlike are the same, just at varying degrees. Boom. Lyric gets it? The point where 2 extremes meet.
Lyric always gets it.
Lyric gets it, bro. I fucking love Lyric. Shout outs to my contributors, bro. They be here. Tell people to come through, bro. Tell them to come get this work right now. I'm really in a zone. So, polarity, like and unlike, are the same. You're not the left wing. You're not the right wing. You're not red. You're not blue. Nigga, you're purple. Once you understand the law, you can step outside of the polarity. You can step outside of the pendulum swing between these 2 extremes, and now you become the one holding the pendulum, swinging it. The individual self freed within the 2 points of polarity. Here we go. You're no longer subject to the same rhythm, the swing back and forth between these 2 polarities. The law of rhythm is the swing back and forth. Once you understand what polarity is, you control the rhythm. All right? So this is what we're dealing with here. Your soul calls forth your ability to decode the hidden mysteries. 7. There are hidden mysteries. 7 layers to the shit, though. You got to dig through each layer to really get to the deepest gems. You got to go through all 7 stages of alchemy before you truly individuate and self-realize what we now commonly call enlightenment, nirvana, samadhi, fucking Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call that shit. I'm not here to nitpick on names and shit like that. There's a million names for the same archetype. All right. Claim your mystical wisdom. Now, mind you, it's very interesting. The word wisdom relates back to the snake, which also relates back to the number 7. Just keep that in mind. Claim your mystical wisdom by acknowledging your personal relationship with Source. You have a very unique relationship with Source. 7 is the proof of that. 7, these 7 universal laws that govern everything are also creating your particular individual experience. Really think about that. These same 7 basic laws that are governing the entire existence of everything in the universe shape and mold your particular individual experience as a conscious entity and as a subconscious entity, but you know, right? This is what we're dealing with here. Your personal relationship with Source, your personal understanding of the law determines what you can and can't do with the law. In the American governmental system, your ignorance of the law is no excuse. You think the universe is running any different? Yeah, I didn't know. Nigga, your dad literally ran a campaign talking about locking a bitch up for doing the same shit you doing right now. You talk about you ain't know. Yo, the American political system's funny as shit right now. But your ignorance of these 7 laws is no excuse. You're still subject to them. You just may not have a greater level of control of the co-creation of your experience. But once you understand these 7 laws and you understand your personal connection with Source, now you're freed from the polarity. Matter of fact, let me not even say you're freed from the polarity. You're free from the duality, because polarity innately implies a connection between 2 extremes, whereas duality innately implies a separation between 2 extremes. Y'all tell me when night start and day stop. Y'all tell me where hot start and cold stops. All of that is subjective. Where does good start and evil stops? All of that's subjective. But yet we have these dualized concepts in our mind where good and evil are completely different things on completely separate sides of the map, and there's no point where they intersect. Lies. 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 Because what might be evil to me may not be evil to you. And what might be evil to you may not be evil to me. What might be bad for you and your business may not be bad for me and my business. I'm over here watching Trump and them boys, hoping and praying that they fuck up America. That'd be a good day for me. For you, you might be invested in the American eagle and the success of these 2 wings trying to fly independently of one another on the same goddamn eagle. You might believe in that. So what might be for you? So this is what we're dealing with. When you understand your own personal connection to these 7 universal laws that govern everything, you are now able to figure out what you can and can't do within your personal game. Once you know your rules, you can bend your rules. Once you understand the law of polarity, you step outside of the polarity. Once you understand the law of rhythm, you step outside of the law of rhythm. You know how to bend that shit. You know how to maneuver around it. So that way, nothing is outside of your control, so to speak. I'm using the word control loosely because The ego likes control. The soul usually just surrenders and allows, which is ultimately a greater form of control. But, you know, I'm trying to be real careful with words. So, catalyze the mystical force of your 7 chakras to propel you to the region of divine illumination within your soul, S-O-U-L. But that's also the soul, S-O-L, Latin for sun, a star, right? Here's an interesting thing. Modern astrophysicists are able to determine the elemental composition of planets by analyzing the various frequencies and spectrums of light that they emit. So if a star is primarily vibrating on, let's say, a microwave frequency, then they know that it's primarily composed of these particular elements. If it's vibrating more on a gamma ray frequency, then they know it's dealing with more of these particular elements. All right? No, that's no different than you. If the soul is a star, then you're no different. Depending on the particular way that your soul is vibrating, the way it shines its light is going to determine the elements you're working with, the ingredients that you have at your disposal, and how much of those ingredients you have at your disposal. So if you got 2 tablespoons of this, 3 pounds of that, 6 fucking grams of this, and 20 liters of that, you might only be able to cook up certain shit. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You just have to know how to work within your means. You got to know how to work with the elements you have in order to transmute them into what you need and what you want. Some niggas, they come down here as a soul and they vibrate primarily on a root chakra level. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Them niggas can make certain types of magic happen on a root chakra level. They can make shit manifest really quick, physically. They're conjure kings, conjure queens. They can make shit manifest like nothing. Some motherfuckers, they vibrate more on a pineal, third eye type of frequency. And their imagination is crazy. Some of the shit that they're able to see in their mind's eye, their clairvoyant abilities, their ability to receive and transmit messages from the higher spiritual planes into this physical plane are crazy. Some niggas have such a strong solar plexus vibration that just their confidence in something makes them the best at it. Makes them a master, a guru at that particular thing. You have to know the particular energies and archetypes connected to each one of your chakras in order to be able to know how to catalyze the power within them. What's a catalyst? A catalyst is an enzyme that speeds up a reaction, a chemical reaction. This is why I'm always telling you guys, magic is not hippy-dippy bullshit. It's real cutting-edge science from thousands of years ago. So once you understand this cutting-edge science, you'll be able to do shit that appears extremely advanced to modern day technological advancements. You see what I'm saying? So once you understand the elements and chemicals that you are working with in your particular equation, you'll know what you need to add into that chemical reaction to speed up the process, to accelerate the process. This is also another aspect of the Tzolk'in that we have to talk about. The concept of time acceleration is very prevalent in the Tzolk'in. Vigesimal time acceleration. If you go back to my first lecture on the Tzolk'in calendar that I did with the beautiful Mama Kali over there, right? If you go back to that first lecture, we really did talk about how the Tzolk'in is based on being able to accelerate time by 20. So this new ton cycle that's just starting now, and this new 260-day base Tzolk'in cycle that's about to start December 11th is going to be 20 times faster than the last one. So think about all the shit that happened within the past 360 days or the past 365 days, right? Because we're winding down to the end of 2018. So really think about all the crazy shit that's happened in just this past year alone. Now multiply that by 20. That much development is going to happen within the next 360 days. Catalyzation. Speeding up a chemical reaction. 7. The harmonic tone of 7 is what catalyzes. So this is what we're dealing with here. So really understand that the intention you set, don't just think about it, oh yeah, I want to tap into abundance. I want to tap into more of this. I want to start healing this. Nah, don't think about it on just that level. Multiply that shit by 20, my nigga. Multiply that shit 20-fold. That's really what you're trying to do. That's really what you're going to deal with. If you've realized that ever since 2012, time has been speeding up, crazier and crazier, look at how fast we transitioned through Scorpio season. Just this last month alone happened like that. Now imagine speeding that up by 20, having it happen even faster. This is why the mystical power becomes so important, because you have to be able to tap into these sacred powers. You have to be able to tap into these higher powers, these higher senses, in order to really be able to navigate this shit. Because it's going to get to a point where your conscious mind, your ego, cannot keep up. Your conscious mind is limited to the speed of light. And even then, the nigga's still lacking. You're going to get to a point, especially once we really start hitting up on 2020, where if you don't have a strong intuition, you're going to get lost. You're going to get left in the dust. Straight like that. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I'm bringing this information forward in this particular time period, because we need to catalyze the mystical force of the 7 chakras to propel us to the region of divine illumination within the soul. We have to now begin to move from that space in order to be the ones creating light, not being the ones stuck behind light, trying to catch up to light. Nah, be the darkness that creates light. Carbon, a black element, an element of darkness, right, can only be created in stars. That's why they say we're made out of stardust. Carbon, the very thing that's... All right, I'm back. Sorry, you guys. It was so hot, motherfuckers had to be like, wait, hold on. Let me call this nigga up real quick. But nah, carbon is an element that can only be made in stars. You see what I'm saying? So when we really do understand, yo, you're stardust, this is how we're giving it up. This is how we're dealing. So it is an element of darkness that creates light. No wonder why carbon, when placed under heat and pressure, of darkness that creates light. No wonder why carbon, when placed under heat and pressure, becomes a diamond. It becomes translucent, transparent, I should say, to light. Light easily flows through that crystalline structure. Because from darkness comes light. You ever seen a diamond? How that thing just ting, ting, ling, ding, ding, just shine all in your face? There we go. This is what we're dealing with. This is the 7th ton cycle. This is what we're trying to go for right now. the catalyzation of these 7 different points of light that exist within us into one unified form of light that allows us to access our stellar core, the diamond light body. You carbon right now, but what pressure have you gone through? What heat have you gone through? Really think about what the last year was all about, because the 6th harmonic tone is connected to the 6th archetype within the 20 archetypes of the Tzolk'in. The 6th archetype is Kimi, death. Here we are now transitioning from Scorpio season to Sagittarius. What heat, what pressure have you been through? Do you feel like you were buried alive last year? Well, now you breaking back out, but you're not the same lump of coal that you went in there with. You a diamond now. So now you got to shine different. The drip is different. Came through dripping, drip, drip. The ice is way different now. A lot more structured, a lot more stable. Coal can be burned for energy. You can't burn a diamond for energy. It's no longer as volatile as it was before. Volatility becomes a very important aspect within the alchemical transmutation process. Integrity, the structure becomes very important as well, because diamond has more integrity than coal does. You can crush up coal in your hand. You can't crush no diamond with your hand. So understand that all the pressure that we went through in the last season, in the last cycle, that last ton, is what's making you a diamond right now. It's what catalyzed or sped up the reaction. You had to go through a bunch of crazy shit all at once in order to get right here. Because now the light's going to start flowing through you unrestricted. You're going to become very transparent with who you are. That's a part of self-acceptance. Here we tie back to the qualities associated with the 7th harmonic tone. Self-acceptance, transparency, truly shining all of your light. Not just the parts that look good, the parts that look bad too, quote unquote. Shining all of it, accepting all of it, and understanding that the soul is all of it. Getting into that region of divine illumination where we are just being the light. The light shines from within us and through us and for us. This is what we're dealing with here. All right. It's very interesting because, like I said, when we first started reading, 7 is the foundation of the individual self. 5, freed within the 2 points of polarity, right? The 7th archetype within the 20 archetypes is Manik, which is the hand, but it's the hand forming an O, which is the completion of a cycle. The 5 complete a total cycle. So it looks like this. The glyph for it actually is a hand like this. Got you, niggas. Anyway. You see what I'm saying? So it's completion, but when you look at it, oh shit, here's a portal. Here's an opening. Understand that the hands are how we create. So if you're a technician of the sacred, this is how you create. This is how you manipulate through the manos. Manos, Spanish for hands. Manos, manipulate, manifest. I'm just connecting it. I'm just giving it to you niggas nice. So here we have it. The 5. The individual self is now freed between 2 points of polarity, which opens up a new portal of awareness. Because, mind you, the thumb is supposedly opposable. It opposes the other 4. So here goes the 2 points of polarity. Bing! And everything's all good. There we go. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to give y'all a little depth to the shit. Make it a little practical, a little simple. All right? So that's what we're dealing with here. Now, what intention should you set? I don't know, nigga. What's on your heart? What's on your mind? We dealing with mystical power. Well, what's your mystical power, nigga? If 7 is all about the mystical power, maybe your intention should be, yo, maybe I need to just spend the next 360 days figuring out what my mystical power is and then creating a new conception for it, gestating it, and revealing in this physical realm in a whole new way. If you already know mystical power, take that shit to a new level. I'm on a new level. Take that shit to a new level. If you don't know, figure it out and build on it. If you already got a solid foundation, start building even higher. Take this shit to a level that you didn't think you could go to before. That's a good intention. But first, you're going to have to figure out, well, damn, how do each one of my 7 chakras function? Because depending on which ones are the most powerful and which ones are the most dormant, I should say. I don't even want to say weak. I just want to say dormant. That might determine what I'm already good at. It also might determine what I need to work on in order to unlock more powers. Here we go. This is what we on right now. Let's keep reading. The consciousness of 7 puts theory to the test. We not just out here pontificating and thinking about, theorizing, doing thought experiments. Nah, we trying to put this shit to use. We trying to put this shit to work. Put in work. Then put them in the dirt. Ground it. Put in work. Put it in the dirt. Ground the shit. Don't just let it sit up here as a thought, as a concept. Nah, bring that shit down to bring it into your hands. Make it something tangible, my nigga. You see how I'm connecting all this shit? You see how that shit formed the O? Got you niggas again. Anyway, you see how that shit formed the O? How I'm connecting it all the way around, full cipher, full circle, 360 degrees. We spiraling. Getting a nice circle going. Getting a nice spin on this shit. This is what we need to be doing. The consciousness of 7 puts theory to the test, asking for practical application of your mystical power. Once you figure out the fucking power, start practicing it. That's what practical means. You can practice the shit. That's why I asked about your technician, your techniques, nigga. What are you actually doing? Technique? Squidward, you're not doing the technique. the technique. You got to do this and this and this and this and this. You got to bring it around town, nigga. Bring it around town. Dead ass though. Use the shit around town. Use the shit in your daily life. Figure out ways to use the shit in your daily life. Bring it around town. You don't gotta show off, but you gotta show up. That's a bet. Damn, let me say that again. That was crazy. You ain't gotta show off. You don't gotta show off the mystical power. That's how you lose it. Don't show it off. But when it makes itself present, oh, you better show the fuck up. That's a fact. I'm not here to play with you niggas tonight. We in this thing. We tapped in. Put the theory to the motherfucking test. What's your hypotheses, nigga? Well, shit, if this is my power, then I should be able to do this because of this. A hypothesis is a if, then, because statement. If I'm clairvoyant, then I should be able to do this because my pineal gland is this, this, and that. If my solar plexus is my strongest chakra, then I should be able to do this because this is what that chakra is all about. If then, because, and then you go out there and you test that hypothesis. You perform the experiment, you observe the experiment, you write down all of your results, and you come to a conclusion, nigga. Ain't it interesting? There's also 7 steps to the scientific method. Gotcha, niggas. Technician of the sacred. Back in the ancient times, the priests were the scientists. That's a fact. That's why alchemy was the high science. Oh, it's spiritual, but it's definitely a method to that madness. Put the theory to the test. As a technician of the sacred, you integrate the polarity of worlds into an operant foundation. Operant, operation. It's operational, nigga. The foundation works. It's functional. You can stand on it. It can stand under you and hold your weight. It's understanding now. It doesn't fall apart. It's an operant foundation. It's something you can really utilize as a platform to build on. The theory is not just a theory anymore. It's a theorem. It's proven now. So now that I've proven this, let me go add on to the theorem. Let me go see what else I can prove. To myself, not to these niggas on Twitter, not to your motherfucking family members, not to your goddamn, none of that. To you. To your ego. That's the one that needs to be convinced of the soul's power. Your ego, not everyone else's. Your conscious mind needs to see the light within your own subconscious programming. That's the one that needs to be enlightened. So there we go. You wear the 7-pointed star, symbol of the master artisan. You are the 7-pointed star that combines all of these 7 visible planets, these 7 chakras, 7 universal laws, and you become the master magician, the master artisan. You can create whatever you want once you understand all 7 parts that feed into the one, the source. All right. Combine your feelings and intellect to transmute matter into medical consciousness. Okay. You ain't even gotta explain that. Because we was just, you ain't gotta explain that. We just talked about taking these mystical concepts and grounding them. What the fuck do you think that does to the earth around you? Doesn't that raise the vibration of it? That's going to raise it up because now you see more of the spiritual essence within all of this shit. Now you raise its vibration back up. You niggas want to talk about ascension? Let's get jiggy with it. You separate the subtle from the dense, the fire from the earth. It rises from earth to heaven and then descends back to earth with the power of inferior and superior things. Emerald tablets. This is what we dealing with. Freed between 2 points of polarity, the inferior and the superior, the microcosm, the macrocosm. You become the ultimate creator within that once you understand all 7 of the principles that create the law that is one. All right. That's all I'm saying. Standing in simple self-acceptance, craft a light body from the column of light in your spine. Do I need to explain that, or do we understand what the spinal cord actually is? Do we understand what Kundalini is at this point? Do we understand the fact that all 7 chakras thread themselves along the central central nervous system, the spinal column? Do we understand that the nervous system runs on electricity, which is L, light? You literally have a column of light. 7 different light vortices, 7 different energy vortices, energy vortexes, thread themselves along the spine that is made up of neuromelanin, the carbon that becomes the diamond that creates the light. Oh, okay. The drip is different, my nigga. The drip is different. But you have to accept all 7 layers of who you are. You have to accept yourself as a physical being, an emotional being, a mental being, a spiritual being, a sexual being, an intuitive being, an instinctual being. You have to accept all of this shit as one in order to really get the drip, that light to shine. You're trying to create a diamond light body. Whole body iced out. That shit different. Shit different. So there's all this energy flowing up and down the spine. All you got to do is understand the energy. Understand how the energy creates itself. Understand how the energy divides itself. How the energy diffracts and bends into these 7 different constituent components. Bring those 7 components back together as one spinal column, one up and down, one. Create one solid foundation, and boom, there you go. That's all you need. So that's what I really wanted to talk about tonight. Is just what this next ton cycle is going to be about. Understanding that this is the 7th ton cycle since 2012, December 31st, 21st, December 21st, 2012. There we go. This is the 7th one. That was all the information that I could read to you and channel to you about the number 7. So what type of foundations are you trying to set? You are now trying to become the technician of your sacred power. I can't tell you what your sacred power is. You know what your sacred power is. Over the next 360 days, you're going to be learning about what your sacred power is. You're going to gestate it. You're going to reveal it. You're going to give birth to it. You're going to become it. You're going to catalyze it. You're going to speed it up. That's what we're dealing with here. You're going to evolve it. You're going to revolve it. This is what we're getting into. This is what we're dealing with. This is why I wanted to say happy Tzolk'in New Year to you niggas. So happy Tzolk'in New Year, bro. Any questions, comments, concerns? Let's talk. I'm here. Y'all got me. I ain't making y'all pay for shit. It's free as fuck. You know what I'm saying? This the time to ask them questions if you got them. I'm telling you. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, over the next 360 days, I'm going to really do my best to explain more about the Tzolk'in calendar, the amount of knowledge that is brought to me, what I've realized from it, why I'm able to deliver these messages that I'm delivering is because of this system that I tapped into. All right, cool. If you got to digest it, that's fine. You know where my Twitter is. Hit me up. Matter of fact, you know where my website is. Hit me up, cosmicchaos.com. Slide there. I might have a little blog or something. You niggas might be able to drop a comment or something on it. I'm not going to really say anything too long in the blog, but it might just be a space for you niggas to just drop the thing and we talk. How do you know if you're projecting or if you're... This whole reality is a projection. When are you not projecting? Let's be honest. This whole reality is a projection. If darkness creates light, then this is a subconscious projection. This is your mind. This is what it looks like.
There's an article on the website that talks about the type of projection that they may be talking about. Like then the negative side of
Oh, the negative side of projection, like, yeah. But even that is the same thing.
Yeah, I talk about it in the article.
Check out the website. Mama Kali said we got a couple articles on that there. But everything's a projection. Like I said, 360 days is 360 degrees. Take a good look around you. All of that is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. You see what I'm saying? Someone asked if we've already all been initiated. At various different levels and degrees. You see what I'm saying? Some niggas have had higher initiations in various different universities throughout the cosmos, I should say. You see what I'm saying? Some niggas are getting their initiations right now. Earth is their first university. You see what I'm saying? A lot of niggas have gotten a bunch of initiations in the past. Some of you niggas were at, you know, some of the ancient temples that were in South America or in India or in Africa when they were in their heyday, when they were hot. So the fact that you're tuned into this type of knowledge right now on a random ass Tuesday says a lot of you are. You see what I'm saying? Can music be considered a spirit? Yeah. This shit's a universe, right? A universe, one song. Music is the ultimate power. Music is the ultimate power. All vibrations create a sound, whether we can hear them or not. All vibration creates a sound. Light is a vibration. This whole entire universe is singing together. All of these stars, all of these planets, all the dark energy, everything that comprises this universe is singing together in a harmonized way. Some of y'all just asked some questions that I didn't get to see because I was answering other ones. So if y'all could, you know, retype them, copy and paste, I don't mind. I'm just, you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to answer the ones that I'm looking at. So yeah, music is definitely a superpower. I would never say it's not. Music is mathematics. There we go. That's a level right there. Music is mathematics. That's a level. Once you understand the mathematics of music, oh shit, you done tap into a whole new power out here. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Matter of fact, the whole entire Tzolk'in is harmonic mathematics. It harmonizes all of the different tones and vibrational forces and vibrational cycles within the universe. Music is math. Get jiggy with that. So utilize the musical power. That's a power. Sometimes your mystical power isn't gonna be, all right, let me say it like this. Stan Lee just died. So let's keep this a buck, because I talked about how Infinity Wars was starting a while ago, right? Now Stan Lee's dead, right? RIP to Stan Lee, because he really did open our eyes to a lot of things, right? Your superpower may not seem that super when you first get it, but every superhero has to develop their power. They have to grow and train with their power to make it better, right? Please understand that. Your superpower may not seem so super when you first get it, but that's why you have to develop it. You have to become a technician of it. You have to know how to tune and tweak that shit to become something greater. I don't know if you guys watch anime. I do. My Hero Academia brings this concept to life. And of course, since the subconscious mind works on symbols and imagery, there you go. How do you know it's a power? Do you feel powerful when you do it? How do you feel when you do it? When I be having sex, a nigga feel yo, I be feeling like God in this bitch. Sex is a superpower of mine. I just have to develop it to a higher level. Poetry, I have a way with words. Root and sacral chakra, root and sacral chakra, root and sacral chakra. They want to know techniques to develop the root and sacral chakra. So I'm trying to think right now. When we're dealing with the root chakra, things like the basic survival instincts come into play. You see what I'm saying? Concepts of security and stability and things like that come into play. So, shit, even doing some shit like going on a camping trip, going out into nature and kind of stripping yourself of all of the human comforts and securities that you've gotten used to.
Leaving the house with only $5.
Word. Leave the house with only $5 and go walk around.
And make like $2 of those dollars in quarters or some dumb shit.
Yeah. Word.
Like go like a normal day, like a day where you have shit to do.
That's real. Dealing with the sacral chakra on a certain level. You just hit me to the day out of time. See? Anyway. Sacral chakra development is all about it's all about connection. Whether it be sexual, emotional, it's all about connection and interconnectedness, connecting with others outside of you. You see what I'm saying? Which then leads to the development of the solar plexus chakra, where you now begin to understand who you are as an individual. You see what I'm saying? So if you want to develop the solar plexus chakra, connect with people. You see what I'm saying? Force yourself into situations where you have to talk to people. You see what I'm saying? Get off the internet and go into a library or go into a bookstore and talk to people. Go find your section of books that you like to read, and then anyone that's around you that's in that same section, talk to them. Force yourself to connect with other people on that level. You see what I'm saying? Force yourself to reach out and talk. You see what I'm saying? Make those connections, because the internet gives us a false sense of connectivity. You see what I'm saying? Where we all in our own space talking through a fucking middleman, really. Right? I'm not going to knock, you see what I'm saying, the connection that we're making right now, but it's not necessarily as real as if we were all in the same room with one another. There's still a middleman here. You see what I'm saying? So get into those, if you on the bus or something, say hi to people. Say what's up. Ask them how their day's doing. Ask them how shit's going. Make those connections. Talk to people. Try to have those quote-unquote emotional bonds to others, because that's what the sacral chakra deals with. You see what I'm saying? The root chakra is all about your basic survival instincts. So go into a part of town that you're not familiar with and just walk around. You see what I'm saying? Like, sort of kind of make yourself get lost and try not to use your GPS and just use your instincts and shit. Just feel out the earth around you and try to find your way back home. Shit like that. You see what I'm saying? I've done it a couple times where I just walked around. I was started at my house and I would just take mad random turns and I would try to make my way back home. And shit worked out. It was crazy how a nigga just knew what way to go when I just stopped thinking so hard, and I kind of just, my instincts knew where to guide me, and I just found my way back home. Shit was cool. It was tight to actually see just how in tune I was with my physical environment, because that's what the root chakra deals with, also your physical environment. The sacral chakra deals with connecting to that physical environment. So there goes that. Any more questions, comments, concerns? I know some of y'all are asking shit while I'm talking. I'm sorry. Just copy and paste, nigga. Just copy and paste. I got y'all. Type it again. But yeah, dealing with that level right there. How do you deal with jealousy? Jealousy. The feeling of jealousy usually comes from lust, right?
It's a combination of lust and fear.
Lust and fear. All right. The fear that you is it the fear that you can't get something?
But it depends on the person. 'Cause sometimes it's the fear that you're not good enough. It's the fear that you can't get something. But it definitely stems from some sort of fear.
Right.
And then lust.
Lust, like a desire for whatever it is that you're
lust,
jealous
again,
about.
Is more so an unhealthy desire.
Right. Right.
So that can be a desire towards something you know, or a part of you feels like you can't have. Sometimes we actually don't think we're deserving of the things we want. And that creates the emotion lust. Because it's conflicting.
And then that is where the feeling of jealousy comes in, because it's like, why do you deserve that, but I don't deserve, or I can't make myself feel like I deserve that. There we go. So, you see what I'm saying?
Jealousy is one of those layered emotions.
Yeah.
Feelings. Yeah.
So, how do you deal with jealousy? You have to deal with the underlying fear. What is it that you fear within that thing that makes you jealous? And then what is it that you're lusting after within that thing? But it may be
more layered emotions.
But
the only way you know
right.
Step into it. And then you're able to see, okay, well, these are the different layers. It is fear. It is lust. It is just fear. It is just lust.
Right.
It could be a couple emotions.
It could.
But you don't know until you fully step into it.
Also true. It could also be a certain level of self-esteem. You see what I'm saying? Like, once again, why don't I deserve that? Why don't you feel good enough to feel like you see what I'm saying? And now you're jealous of someone else for feeling that good. You see? So it can be very much
stem from fear.
It can be very much layered.
But we're afraid of how we're going to be perceived, so we don't do it, and then we start bashing ourselves for not doing it. Boom, now we have low self-esteem.
That state of tuning out long enough to see images, you're tapping into the subconscious mind. That's how subconscious mind communicates in symbols. So you're tapping into states of awareness that will be classified as alpha state. You see what I'm saying? To where you're now tapping into images. Look into the different types of brainwave functions. There's gamma state, beta state, alpha state, theta state, delta state. Each one of them correspond to a different level of brain function. You see what I'm saying? And what those different levels of brain function utilize. Do y'all use symbols to channel archetypes? Of course. Archetypes are subconscious structures. They can only communicate to you through the symbols that are associated with them. You see what I'm saying? So when I want to talk to the archetype of what I understand to be sexuality, I might use the symbol of the serpent. You see what I'm saying? Because that's one of the energies associated with the archetype. You see what I'm saying? If I want to use, or if I want to talk to the archetype of the Christ that is very prevalent throughout, and here's what really an archetype is. An archetype is a structure within, or a complex within the subconscious mind of all humanity that is consistently playing itself out in the symbolisms of seemingly disconnected cultures across the world. You see what I'm saying? So the Christ is an archetype because every culture has a Christ or a Christ energy. You see what I'm saying? Every love is an archetype because every culture has a deity or a god or some form of symbolism connected to love. You see what I'm saying? And those symbols are usually very similar. You see what I'm saying? So you have to utilize symbols to communicate and access archetypes because that's the only way they can really talk to you. They exist as unconscious structures. You see what I'm saying? Within the collective unconsciousness of humanity. So the only way you can really talk, they can't make themselves conscious. So the only way you can talk to them is through symbols. It's the best way. All right? Like living, exactly. Exactly. They're living thought forms. And the way that they speak, the language they speak, is very symbolic. If you notice, a lot of the ancient cultures, right? Talking about, the ancient Olmecs, the ancient Egyptians, and many others, right? I'm just naming two specific ones that you can definitely go look at. They communicate in very pictographical languages. You see what I'm saying? Their languages are comprised of symbols. So what does that tell you? They weren't just speaking a conscious language. They were speaking a conscious language that gave them conscious access to their subconscious mind. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're dealing with on that particular aspect. Of course, Carl Jung has done a lot of amazing work with explaining and breaking down what archetypes are. So I would definitely point you in that direction. You see what I'm saying? For more in-depth, deeper, you see what I'm saying, understanding for your conscious mind, for your ego at least, of what archetypes are and how they function, what they do. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, archetypes are the sub-unconscious, they're subconscious, but they're unconscious structures within the collective unconsciousness of humanity that communicate with symbols consciously throughout all of human experience. You see what I'm saying? So every culture has a deity of love, and all of the deities of love are very similar to one another, which is why we know that there's an archetype in the collective human consciousness or collective human unconsciousness that is there trying to tell us and communicate with us what it is through these symbols. You see what I'm saying? All the love gods act the same. All the war gods act the same and carry the same weapons and have the same mannerisms and da da da. There's a reason for that, even through cultures that are separate as fuck, through not only space but time. All right? So keep that in mind. More questions before I get tired of you niggas. Before I'm bored, you niggas. These are really good questions. I actually fuck with these questions hard body. Niggas asking about archetypes and shit. I got some smart followers around here. I ain't know that. Keep seeing crows, ravens to the point that I feel like they are trying to tell me a message. They have been showing up alone and in groups and calling. I definitely believe in animal symbolism and spirit totems because those are symbols used by an archetype within your own mind to communicate with you. Where do we usually see crows and ravens associated with? We see them associated with death. We also see them associated with gods like Odin. You see what I'm saying? So begin to research in those directions. Begin to look at, well, shit, if crows and ravens are associated with death, what needs to die in my life? What do I need to release? What do I need to let go of in order to step into a new level of resurrection, rebirth? You see what I'm saying? What do I need to release? What do I need to forgive? You see what I'm saying? What do I need to lay to rest, so to speak? What do I need to bury, so to speak? What do I need to ashes, dust to dust, so to speak, in order to get into a new level of conscious perspective? Because birds, as a symbol, speak about a higher vantage point. You see what I'm saying? They're able to fly. They're able to get a higher perspective on things. So right now you might be stuck on the ground. Birds aren't really built to walk around on the ground like that. They're built to fly. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. However, what my strongest chakras are. Number one,
You can get a chakra reading from us online.
you can definitely come get a chakra reading from us. We do amazing shit. You can get a
There's like, yeah.
No, we have two chakra readings. We have a simplified, which deals with the root, heart, and crown, and we have the complete, which deals with all seven. But just on a general level, um, learn what each chakra deals with on an emotional level, on a biochemical level. Really begin to deal with them on that regard, and then as you begin to understand what each chakra deals with on its most basic level, you'll then be able to say, well, shit, I do have a lot of issues related to my stability and my physical body and my survival instincts. And I'm always in this state of fear or anxiety and da 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 da. Damn, maybe something wrong with my root chakra. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I do have this strong ability to communicate my thoughts, and I'm very good at speaking. I'm really good at expressing my creativity. Maybe my throat chakra is my power. You see what I'm saying? This is what we're dealing with on that level. So begin to understand the basics of the chakras and the energy that they represent. Also, what's your favorite color? Like G shit, as simple as that. Each chakra is a color. What's your favorite color? There's a reason you're drawn to that chakra. Either it's a superpower, or there's a certain level of trauma within that particular chakra that needs to be healed in order for you to raise up your superpower. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. What does an underwater mean? An underwater world is the subconscious mind. Like, you gotta think about it, because consciousness is an iceberg. You see what I'm saying? Only the tip of the iceberg is the conscious mind. The rest of it is below the water. That's the subconscious mind. You see what I'm saying? So when we're dealing with underwater worlds and dreams, we're talking about the Atlantean consciousness, the subconscious mind that really does shape and mold a lot of your conscious reality, the same way water is the one of the most fundamental essences of life. So you see what I'm saying? Water is also wisdom. So it might represent that unconscious wisdom. You see what I'm saying? Being able to dive deeper into the mind in order to be able to pull up new gems. Uh, Shit's definitely going down 2020. Any more questions? Anything else you niggas got for me? I really enjoy these questions that y'all are asking, actually. It's actually very nice. Um, before then, how can we trick the egos into getting over fears? It's really hard to trick the ego on a certain level. That motherfucker be conscious as shit. That motherfucker be aware. It's not about tricking the ego. You see what I'm saying? It's more just forcing it into uncomfortable zones on a certain level. You see what I'm saying? You got to really push that nigga to do things, because if not, the ego is a creature of habit. It will stick in its limited cycles of activity. It will stick in its habits and its routines, and it will try to avoid, you see what I'm saying, these demons, right? So if you really want to face your fears, you really just gotta face them. You just gotta go head up. You just gotta go head on with them. You see what I'm saying? Understanding that the subconscious mind, the soul, is already so far beyond all of those fears. So there is nothing to fear except the fear itself. You see what I'm saying? So just put yourself in front of these things that you fear, whatever it is. Just do it. Deal with it directly, head on. You see what I'm saying? Stop trying to like tiptoe your way around it on certain levels, and just go head up with that shit. There's really no way of tricking it. It's more so getting it to understand the benefit of facing these fears, and how much better of a survival mechanism or self-preservation mechanism it can be once these fears are conquered, because ultimately that's the ego's job. It is a self-preservation mechanism. You see what I'm saying? It's not evil, it's just trying to keep you alive. So the things that scare you to death, it's not going to want to deal with. So this is what we have to understand: the ego is not a bad guy. We are the ones that have fed it in such a way that has inflated it beyond its necessary parameters, so to speak. You see what I'm saying? So we have to now realign the ego with where it's no longer creating blockages and hindrances to the energy of the soul, of the subconscious mind, and our greater uh, conscious functionings. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're dealing with on that level. So really hold that in your mind on that level. I really want y'all to just think on that. The fact that the ego is a survival mechanism. All right. Once you understand that, you'll understand how to talk to it, how to deal with it, because it's not your enemy. It's really trying to keep you alive because it understands you're not a soul right now. You see what I'm saying? You're in a physical body right now. And you've chosen to incarnate in this physical body because you wanted to have a specific set of experiences. So it's just trying to make sure that you stay here long enough to have all of those experiences so that way you can accomplish the mission that you came down here with. It's trying to help you. It's just been pushed beyond its own parameters. You see what I'm saying? And now it's doing the most. It's trying too hard. So you have to get it to align with what needs to be done. You see what I'm saying? And that's what to kind of get rid of all the unnecessary shit. How does one work with the elements to upgrade your powers? Number one, get you an altar. Number two, put all four elements on that altar. Number three, talk to those elements like they are consciously alive because they are consciously alive. Uh, I, mm, the only true evil there is living back. Yeah. There's no such thing as evil. It's just when you live backwards, when you don't live in truth. That's real evil. When you don't live in tune with your deepest truths, that's evil, so to speak. I don't necessarily believe in evil as like a moral thing because once again, what you think is evil might not be evil to me. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's think about it like this. Ma'at, the universal principle of balance coming out of the Kemetic civilization, right? She doesn't care about human shit at all. She only cares about upholding universal order. So if upholding universal order means I have to destroy 5,000 planets full of life, boo, Ma'at's gonna execute that with no fucks given because that's what's necessary to uphold universal order. I'm pretty sure to those life forms on those 5,000 planets that are about to get washed, you see what I'm saying? Universal order seems like an evil bitch. You see what I'm saying? But in the grand scheme, is it? Mm, do I have an elemental altar course? I do have an altar magic. Uh, mm, Matter of fact, nah. It's the practical magic starter pack on my website, cosmicchaos.com. Go into the shop section. It'll be in there. It's altar magic, um candle magic, spell magic, and no, I don't think I talked about sigils because I have a free thing about sigils, so I don't think I went too hard on that. But it's the we always forget the fourth one. We always forget the fucking fourth one.
The description has a detail.
Yeah, so just go on to the website cosmicchaos.com. It's in the shop section. Practical Magic Starter Pack. It talks about we go in depth on altars, we go in depth on candle magic, we go in depth on spell magic, really break it down, add the science to it, make it practical, make it yeah. Um, but just as a quick thing, an altar is just a sacred space. You can make an altar out of a shoebox, my nigga. As long as that's a space where you feel like you are convening with your higher self, where you are talking to higher reality, that's all you need. Think about an altar as the phone booth where Clark Kent becomes Superman. That's it. That phone booth can be anywhere. It can be anything. It's just a space that you deem as sacred. Because truth be told, your body is a temple, all right? That's what it says in the Bible, right? Your body is a temple. So the first altar you ever had was this body itself. All four elements link and combine in this body. You breathe air, you drink water, you're made of the earth. There's fire in your blood. This is an altar. That's a gem. You see what I'm saying? So you are a living altar. You are a living, breathing, walking altar. Just keep that in your mind. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, shop section. When it's immediately you see random flashes of light in your home, you tapping into higher dimensions, man. Bleach is actually one of my favorite animes. Whoever you are, link me on Twitter, bro. Link me on Twitter. Just send me an at and let me follow you because you're cool. It's one of my favorite animes, and Bleach is very much filled with lots of gems, metaphysical gems. You see what I'm saying? When you understand Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, oh, Bleach becomes a very different thing, especially when we're dealing with the sword. The spinal column in Kabbalah is the sword. So the fact that their sword is a manifestation of their unique power, the number seven, the seventh letter in the Hebrew alphabet is Zayin, which is connected to the sword. So in Bleach, their sword becomes a manifestation of their unique power. We just talked about all that shit. Manique, the seventh art, is also the spiritual tools that you hold in the hand. The sword, spiritual warriorship, going to battle with your mystical power. Contain their swords contain their jinn. Yo, son, I be loving you niggas sometimes. Y'all be going with the shits. All right, I see you boys. What y'all know about that jinn? What y'all know about the genie in the bottle, nigga? Okay, okay. All right, I see you boys. Nah, watch that shit again. Take your time with it. Take your time. Matter of fact, the Gote 13. We just talked about 13 harmonic tones and how 13 connects all these synotic cycles, right? Might be some more gems in there that you ain't seen before. Might be some more gems. So go back. Go back. Watch that shit. Shinigami is the seventh Soul Reapers. Chronos. See where I'm going here? All right. That's all I'm saying. Just look it up. Look it up. Chronos. His if you deal with Chronos and the ancient Greek mythology, his weapon of choice is the scythe, the sickle, the reaper's staff. But he's Saturn, the seventh. The Soul Shinigami. All right, I'm just saying. Just showing you what's up. Just showing you what's up. So yeah, family. I really appreciated this time with y'all. I really appreciate y'all, kicking it with me. For 98 minutes. Shout outs to y'all, man. I didn't think y'all would come through, but y'all did come through. Y'all are free to hit me up in my mentions. Come talk to me. Let's talk. Let's deal with this shit. CosmicChaos.com. Don't just hit me up on Twitter. Check out the website. We have resources available. PDF section. We have monthly subscription services. We do webinar. Our contributors are dropping amazing knowledge all the time. Really fun. Website's great. You're gonna find a lot. You're gonna give a lot. You see what I'm saying? For free and for the paid. If you want to invest at a level, you see what I'm saying? When you're not willing to sacrifice for the sacred knowledge, realize that the current of energy comes back to you tenfold. So, my prosperity is your prosperity is mine. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Spend a little time on there. Download some resources made available for you guys. For you to utilize. You see what I'm saying? We're holistic health practitioners. This is what we do. I got a lot of knowledge. I'm about to really start expanding on the things that I talk about, not just on a physical level, but more the physical health. Bring in a lot of awareness to different things like herbal remedies, herbal potions for both physical and spiritual uses. CBD, different types of, holistic healing techniques, Reiki and Ayurveda and fucking pranas and all type of different lies to really tap into, a lot of different shit. Um, so cosmicchaos.com. If you want to talk to Mama Kali about some of the emotional reprogramming, you see what I'm saying? At Kali Have Mercy, she um just did an amazing webinar live, right? She's about to do another one um in the next coming days. You see what I'm saying?
We got a free one tomorrow.
There's a free one tomorrow, and then there's a paid one the day after that. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So definitely consider getting your coins together to invest. She's gonna be utilizing a lot of neuro linguistic programming, a lot of hypnosis techniques. She's also going to be explaining a lot of different aspects of neuro linguistic programming and hypnosis to really help you guys understand what it is and what it isn't, so that we can get past the bullshit and really begin to deal with the work. You see what I'm saying? She's getting her certification. Well, she has a certification in hypnosis already, but she's getting her certification in NLP right now. She's learning a lot. She's really getting a chance to apply it. So definitely fuck with that. You already know I'm a jack of all trades. Y'all come talk to me about whatever. But she's definitely working on a lot of emotional healing, emotional cleansing, emotional clearing. Definitely talk to her if you want to figure out how to deal with some of these feelings and the emotions that bring them on. All right. Once again, the website is amazing. Um, check out all of our contributors, the Dalai Mama, Demon Water, AU Tsunami, 42 Tones, Lyric, all of them. All of them are fucking amazing. All of them are great. All of them are doing a lot of amazing things right now. So check them out. Check out their work on the website. Check them out on Twitter. Um, that's really all I gotta say, man. I really appreciate you niggas rocking with me. Thank you so much for all your support as always. Peace. One time for my niggas, two times for my noggins. It's been your main man, Daddy Shiva, and I'm going to bed.